This morning's session we talked about ecosystems and competing ecosystems, if you like, and Microsoft seems to be flavour of the month in the way it seems to want to dominate the AV world in the products it sells into there, when everybody's looking at mixing and matching different ecosystems. As the AV world wants to plug into a much more connected world, if you like. What role is Microsoft playing, and should it be playing, within this sort of world?
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting because I think they're almost trying to carve out their own little ecosystem, because they bring to the party, not just the AV but the IT party, an awful lot of other products which all mesh together quite nicely into a total solution. If you look at something like Service Hub, so it fits with Skype for Business, they lead with that, Office 365, and if you're going into a corporate space now, you can almost, as an IT AV partner, you can use the hub as a stalking horse, because you'll be able to get, sort of partner sales through things like Surface products, as well as, the people who are involved in licensing, they can go in and chase that part of the business. But you can see they are looking, I don't know if dominate is the right word, but they're certainly looking to take a hard dive for a number of years into the meeting space environment and that sort of connected room space. In the same way, I suppose, Cisco are as well, with the Spark and the way that they're trying to approach the market, with it being an out-of-the-box experience in 30 seconds, connected to their licensing system. All of a sudden, it's an ecosystem that someone can just walk in with and not really have to manage too much in dealing with AV or systems integrators, which is a bit of a challenge.
Is it this domination of the environment? I mean, Google's doing a similar sort of thing in a way, where they're developing their own products in their own spaces, and it's valuable market research and product development routine, this, I suppose, really. Are they trying to match their consumer, their home world and the business world, and make it seamless?
Yeah, I think so, because if you look, the idea is that you can walk into a meeting room and it's straight away you're off. You can start the business and start working with a screen, if you're talking about, say, the hub, without having to do anything. You don't have to sign in, you don't have to authenticate. You can be whiteboarding and having a Skype for Business call in 20 seconds. It's not really complicated. And I think it's how that extends into the home. And I think they're looking at the experience that people have in their home, where you walk in, you turn on your TV and you're away. You don't have to do anything else, whether it's smart or whether it's a non-smart TV. You have that same experience. And I think that people are so used to that, they want to be able to do that in work, and they pay a lot more money for it, the difference in price in screens and the technology. So it seemed right that they should try and do that.
I mean, over the years, the enterprise world has helped Microsoft grow up. Do you feel as though it understands the market well enough to be able to provide something that's useful for the AV world, that helps people make money out of what they're offering?
Making money out of it is a different question. I think that they're in it for the long run, and I think that they don't necessarily understand fully how AV works. I think they've been quite surprised by the length of time that projects take to actually come from initial discussions and proof of concept to actually delivery. I think that seems to have caught them out slightly. I think that's more about the AV experience that they maybe have as an organisation. But certainly the partners that they've chosen in the UK and in Europe, most of them are old school or long-standing video conferencing companies, as well as AV integrators. So I think we all understand that timeline, and we're just having to then relay that back to them so as they understand it.
Do you think people who've always bought Microsoft will continue it's another Microsoft product, and therefore they bought into the environment, and they're running big Microsoft estates anyway, so for it's a bit of a no-brainer?
Yeah, I think for that whole connected piece, where you walk in and start to work with it straight away, if you're a Microsoft house and you're on 365 and are using Skype already, it is a little bit of a no-brainer, and I don't see why you wouldn't do that. Whereas, it's exactly the same if you are a Cisco house. If all of your telecoms are Cisco, why wouldn't you invest in Spark, because, and Spark Board? Because, as we said before, the out-of-the-box experience is 30 seconds and you're connected to the cloud. So from an AV integration point, you can hang it on the wall and you're away. It's very, very simple. I think Microsoft are trying to do that, and I think it'll probably work long term.